now, as you can see, rear end is in the car, cowl tracks are on, and we ended up going through that whole process. Now, hit me down in the comments, sorry, hit me down in the comments and let me know if you guys want to see like a time lapse or something like that of putting in the cowl tracks, doing the rear end. If you guys, really want to go through all that and see it, because I know some, they just want to see the finished product, and others want to see, man, how did you really go through and do all that? Maybe there's some tips and tricks and things that you made it a little quicker. So if you're on either side of the fence, hit me down in the comments. I'm just trying to make this channel that much better for you guys, that much better for us, just trying to grow it, and your guys' help would be big time appreciated. So anyways, so got the bead locks on, rear end's in, cowl tracks are kind of mocked up. Everything's mocked up right now because what I ended up doing was on the sliders, I wanted to make sure my depth was right. And I tell you what, I'm going to show you what I'm thinking, and you can hit me down in the comments if you guys think the same way or no, man, you're doing that wrong. All right, obviously we're under the car. If you look, I'm trying to get back far enough. Being a split mono, to me, just looking at this guy here, if you notice how straight that is, and I don't have the shocks in it right now, but if I start bouncing this thing, one of the reasons that you want to do 75% is that you don't want to end up smashing it into the back here. Let's say you're doing like a drag and drive car or something like that. You got your U-Haul on the back and you're, weighing the thing down. Well, you have that possibility of smashing back into here, right? Right. Well, here's the thing. When you hit straight, when that thing hits straight, there is no more going back. Worst case is that it actually bends the other way and then it's going to start sliding itself back inward. Well, again, if you look, look at how straight that sucker is. I'm going to grab the parachute here. I'm going to bounce this thing. And you can see where it goes. Well, here's the thing. Watch. It hits a certain point and it does not go any farther. It actually starts to almost want to go back the other way. Why don't I have the shocks in it, you ask? Okay, well, see the thickness of that brace? All right, the hole is right there. So if I go straight down from there, I'm right there. That's how thick the brace is. There's my finger. That's how thick the brace is. Okay, here's my coilover mounts. There's the coilover mount. So I have to take this and get it here. Well, how am I going to get any adjustability out of that? So what I'm going to have to do is cut this brace. So having to cut that brace, some of you might look at it and go, Scott, that's the back brace of the rear end. Why would you cut that thing? Well, keep this in mind. When Strange built this rear end, they even flat out told me, we're going to be pushing 1,300, 1,400 on the car. Probably more around 1,300. I don't know if I really want to lean that hard on those rods. But 1,300 plus down this thing, okay? The car is only certified for an 850. So at that point, I'm looking at it going, all right, if we run a 40 or, something like that, they'll give us it, they'll give us like a 10th and not bitch at us. I start running into the 20s, they're going to look at it and go, come on, man, you're under your certification, you any quicker, blah, 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 blah. So the whole goal for this car is to be an 850 car and be able to run it and be consistent with it. So at that point, so I'm looking at it and it's like, you know what? It's going to be about 1,300-ish. So doing that and talking to Strange, they went, you don't need the back brace. I put it on anyways because it's at Strange. It was $275. And at that point, if I'm spending the money I'm spending on this rear end, this rear end with the brakes and everything on it was like $4,500. It was not cheap. Are there more expensive rear ends out there? Yeah, but for me, that's a shit ton of money. So at that point, cutting that brace, and I'm gonna have to open it up to where I can get, the bolts through and I can get the welder in and all that. There's gonna be like probably a 2-inch chunk that I'm gonna take out. I'm gonna box it on both sides. It's still gonna be strong. It'll be a little bit weaker, but it should still be as strong. Well, it should be stronger than if the brace wasn't on it at all. And Strange going, you don't even need the brace. For the power level you're at, you don't need the brace. So now you can see where it's like, all right, I'm going to cut the brace. If Strange is telling me that it's strong enough without it, and I put it on just as good measure, and then I'm going to cut it and do everything, Okay, why not just leave the brace on, make your brackets, set it back? Okay, if I do that, I have to now pull everything apart in the trunk. I have to cut out my cross member bar, relocate that, the holes that I made for the trunk, or in the trunk, for the trunk, in the trunk. I have to relocate those holes, and it's a lot of extra fabbing. Don't be such a lazy ass and do it the right way. Well, or I can cut the brace. And again, what I just said of Strange going, you're perfectly fine. For what I'm building out of this car, it's good. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not planning on this car being any quicker than what it's gonna be. I mean, this is kind of the finished product of the black car, of the SS car. So I'm fine with it. I know some people are, I'm fine with it. It'll be okay. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make some gussets and some braces for the sliders. So I'm gonna weld all that stuff up. And I tell you what, I'll throw a little video of me doing that up, and let me know if you guys dig it, if you like it. If you dig it, man. So if you dig it, if you like it, and we'll go from there, all right? All right, all right, all right, all right. Where'd you go? There you are, cutting stuff from afar.
It's so spooky. It's so spooky. Oh.
Sorry, I got the light pulling up and look like my grandpa.
Yeah, what you say? Yeah, you little sons of bitches playing around in my barn.
Anyway, sorry you guys, having fun with the camera. So what I ended up doing, what you saw me do, was I made these little gussets. Woo, little gussets. So I made these little gussets. So what I'm planning on doing is, on the spring perch, here, I'm gonna go 4 corners. So I'm gonna take this gusset, I'm gonna hit it on the 4 corners, boom, boom, front, back, left, right, up, down, select, start. And then we're gonna be able to fight Mike Tyson.
What's that? Oh, I don't know, back in my day.
So anyway, so I'm gonna weld it completely. I'm gonna add these gussets in just for a little extra strength. And we're gonna go from there. So yeah, I got enough gussets. Making sure I actually made enough. Alrighty, let's get to work.
What'd you say?
So, there's one gusset. I'm getting ready to put the next gusset on, and then number 2 gusset. This is just a precaution, just to make sure things don't move around too much. I don't believe there's going to be a whole lot of stress on the sliders, but it's better to be safe than sorry. They are bolted on as well, so I'm just kind of bolting them and then welding those gussets on just to be safe. Okay, you guys, so we got everything in, locked in, and tell you what, my light's not very good. Let me pick this thing up here so you can see what's going on. I just got done putting a little paint on there, but you can see the gussets, what I welded up there. I got the one in the back, and then I ended up running a bead going from basically gusset to gusset. And then, hard to see, you can see the other one on the other side there. So we are locked in. Plus, I got it screwed in as well. So she ain't going nowhere. So next thing that we're going to work on now is getting the shocks in. So, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start figuring out the rear end. Oh, let me come up from underneath the car here. I just got her hanging right now, but I'm going to start figuring out the rear end, where I'm going to cut into that brace, and next thing we're doing is we're going to start lining up the coilovers. I'm sorry, the shock. It's a coilover shock without the spring, so keep saying coilover. And I also think I'm going to put I got some 1/4-inch spacers that are going to go underneath as well, so I'm going to lower the car just a little bit more. So a 1-inch drop, that's as much as they'll do on the springs from Caltrac. I have a 3/4-inch spacer in there, and I'm also going to throw in the 1/4-inch one that they gave me from Caltrac. So we'll be a total of a 2-inch drop once we're all said and done. So I tell you what, let me get my thing set up and we'll move into this next section. You can see I just got the shocks just kind of hanging. I've already trimmed out the braces. Let's see here. So you can see where I trimmed the brace. I got the bracket just lightly in, and now I'm putting a bar going across
It's going to tie in the cross member. That's going to tie in the coilover bracket, or just for the shocks. And then what we're also going to do, get my line up here. What I'm also going to do is, and then I'm going to come off of here and tie into the rear end up here. So here to here, and then I'm going to have two of them, one coming from here to here, one coming from here to here, so that lower brace will be secure. And if I do feel like all of a sudden running like a set of wheelie bars on it, well, I got a lower bar to go to, but this is going to help stiffen up these brackets. And if someday I do decide to tub the car or mini tub the car or anything like that, well, I already got coilover brackets done. I'm obviously running the coilover I want. I'll just put a set of springs on it and call it a day. So let's get back out from underneath here. Oh, well, you got the old man working on his ride, but that's where we're at so far with that. And then the old man's making all kinds of noise over here. Let's see where he's at doing his thing. The cursing and swearing and gosh darning it and frickin' frackin'. But as you guys can see, he's trying to fit his side windows in. So he's making his bracket, getting all that stuff figured out. Slowly but surely, it's going to do its thing, get done. Oh, you can see the brackets on this side, what he's trying to do. Oh, there you go. There. That way you can see all the little brackets that he's doing. That way you can mount the window, because these doors originally had a thick flange that went all the way up here and like came down. Well, he ended up cutting that off. Just didn't like it. It was one of those things, so now he's fabbing up a new way of holding up that window, or the side windows. And trial and fit, trial and fit, trial and fit, over and over and over. And that's what we got. Woo! That's what we got going on here. So I'm going to set you guys down and we're going to get moving on some welding. All right? So here is the end of the day finished portion. Oh, we got the shocks in, got the lower bar welded up, finished, done. Everything is loose, nothing's super tight, but just kind of sitting up in there. But you can see how everything's finished up, welded, brackets are all done. All this is in, sliders in, that bad boy's in. So at that point, we had a productive weekend. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.